What's going on, YouTube? Uh, it's your boy Chris Jack, the Canvas Nomad, and I'm finally back in America. As you can read from the title, I've been in Asia for about 3 months, and it was a blast. Like that continent really surprised me. Um, I don't even, I don't even know what to say. Like I'm just so grateful to have experienced something like that. That yeah, man, it was one for the books. Like I hope I can touch down in Asia again. I really hope so. But today was a bit of a stressful day. Um, so I got to the airport. I was in Bangkok. I got to the airport. For anybody that watched the last live stream, now you know where I was. I got to the airport and I had to leave. My flight was at 4. No, it was at 10 o'clock. Sorry, it was at 10 o'clock. So I had to go on a 2-hour trip to Bangkok. I flew from Bangkok, and I had a 10 hour layover in Tokyo. Well, Hanada, but in Japan, basically. It's like 30 minutes outside of Tokyo, and I was gonna go leave because I got there like 7 in the morning. I was gonna go leave and explore Tokyo, but from what I heard, a lot of things don't really open up till 10, 11. And I was kind of afraid that I wouldn't get back in time for my flight. So I just kind of stayed and parlayed at the airport. I did some writing. I'm actually writing a book. So for anybody that is interested, that is coming soon. Stay tuned for that. But it's going to be basically of my solo travel adventures through 2 different continents. And yeah, I wrote maybe like 3 chapters, and it was just different because then I started spending yen, and who I would have never thought that I'd ever be in Japan, but here I was in Japan. I didn't go to the city of Japan, but I was in Japan, and I had some noodles. It was a good 10 hours, but it didn't feel like that. It really didn't feel like that because my flight took off at 4:30. I landed like 7 o'clock. Is that like 10? What is it? 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. About 8 hours. Either way, I waited. I finally got on the plane, and then it was a 13-hour flight back to the States. Oh my God. And I thought it was interesting because I've always wondered like how that flight goes, because there's a lot of times where I've heard a flight from Australia to, like, let's say Ecuador. You would think they would just go straight across the Pacific. But no, they usually go up and around. So they go up towards Russia, they cross the Bering Strait, they go through Alaska, then they come down the West Coast by California, come down Mexico, and then they, eventually arrive in Ecuador. Why do I know this? Well, there was a lady who had to. She was in labor, and she broke her water. Her water broke, and they had to make an emergency stop in Alaska. So there's a lot of people amongst a certain community. If you're out there, you're probably part of that community. If you're not as far out there, but curiosity has you going around, you probably know of the community, and you probably have your ponders, but you're probably not of the community. I don't want to say what it is because it's only 3 minutes in, and YouTube likes to demonetize very controversial stuff. But if you know, you know. And lo and behold, I'm on a plane and I'm following the trajectory and seeing where it's going. And we were in Alaska. We flew over Alaska, and then we came down. We flew over Vancouver. Then eventually we hit West Virginia. Now, what I thought was interesting was that the day before, I had got a notification saying that the weather in New York was very severe. And then I got another notification through email saying, hey, your flight might be canceled or delayed or whatever the case may be. So I was a little worried. I wanted to stay in Asia, but not because of the plane, but because on me. So now that I actually booked the ticket, I didn't want to stay in Asia, and then just waste that. I didn't get insurance on my ticket, so I couldn't really do that. So we got a notification. We got it on the AP system. The captain's like, "Hey, normally when it's bad weather, they'll fly around the airport until it clears up, or at least the traffic on the ground clears up, and then they'll land. But they'll be around the airport until they're ready to land." But the captain was like, "Hey, we don't have enough fuel to get to land in New York, so we're gonna stop in North Carolina, which is where I'm at now, right?" Um, it's been quite an adventure, and then I got to North Carolina here. We landed at like 5:45. That's like literally when we hit the runway. We didn't get off the plane till like 7:30. We were just on the tarmac, or the taxi as the airline industry calls it, um, for like 2 hours. He wouldn't let us use the bathroom for like the first 40 minutes. I was pissed off. I had to go. Finally, all you heard was bing, and I was out. I just tried to, and I had a window seat, so I had to jump over. Excuse me, it was just I had to go. But then we got there, and then we're just sitting there like for mad long. I'm thinking they about to bring out food again, because we was just there for a minute. And then now we finally got off the plane. It was like 8 o'clock. Then we had to wait. Nah, it was like 7:45. I mean, same thing, but we had to wait online because they were gonna give us vouchers, uh, for our stay. But prior to that, I actually got an email because now we're on the ground, so we're getting notifications. I got an email saying the next flight is scheduled at 7 o'clock for you to fly to New York. So I'm thinking, okay, at least I'm still going home today. But then 7 o'clock came and we were still on the plane, and he had said that they didn't have enough fuel to get back to New York. So being on the tarmac for 2 hours, unless they had already fueled up the plane while we were sitting where we were, there was no way we were leaving at 7, because again, we didn't dock until after 7 basically. So we got there. They basically told us, the next flight is going to be tomorrow at 8 o'clock, which is in a couple of hours. And yeah, so we had to wait on this long line. And luckily I was in the beginning of it, because that line went to Africa. Like, it was deep. And, it's just been a journey. This legitimately took me a little bit more than 2 days to get home, because I'll be flying out tomorrow morning. That's going to be another 2-hour flight, hour and 45 minutes. And then I got to go home. I'm not paying for an Uber. I got to North Carolina. I finally got my voucher. I took a taxi with the voucher they gave me, and we drove like 20 minutes. I asked the dude, I was like, "Yo, let's say I didn't have this voucher. How much would it have been for you to take me to this hotel?" The man was like, "Oh, it's 18 miles. It would have been $60." And I'm like, $60? Yep, I'm definitely back in America. God damn. So, I'm definitely not taking an Uber from JFK back to my home. That'd be that's usually around $65. But in the morning, during the daytime, especially during like lunch, might be more. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Either my boy's gonna pick me up or I'm taking MTA. It is what it is. I only got to carry on. I'll pay $2.50 and go $2.50 and go home. Plus, I haven't been home in 3 months. It'd be nice to go through and see the city. So that was my adventure today. It still isn't even over. Who knows what will happen when I land? And the stuff that I see every time I get home back in the States, I always see something on the way home that I'm just like, "Yep, I'm back in New York." So who knows what we'll see? But it was quite an adventure. Asia was not what I expected, but it was better than expected. It wasn't what I expected, but it superseded all my expectations. Like Asia is a place that I think everybody should go at least once. Like Asian or not, I don't care. You should definitely go. That was one of the best trips I've had ever. It started off in Thailand, and I got to Thailand, and I don't know what to tell you. Like Thailand, hey, what's going on, Salk? How you doing? Thailand is easily probably the best place I've ever been. No questions asked. Like the country itself has all terrains for all kind of people. If you want to be, in the cold or like not too hot weather, you go up to Chiang Mai. Got a lot of Instagram photos. It's a nice area, and then you have a party life area in Pai, like 40 minutes away, so you can still have your fun. If you want tropical weather, but it's like if you want tropical city life, you got Bangkok. If you really want a party atmosphere, like a Vegas type atmosphere, you have Pattaya. If you want to check out the province, go to Isan or something like that. If you want nothing but beaches, go down to Phuket. If you want like luxury living, go to Karan Beach or Krabi. They got a full moon party on Cosmo Island every month, where the island is just for a party during the full moon. The whole island is one big party for the full moon, and that's all that happens there. Thailand is whew, man. Everybody. I'm talking about both genders. Sorry, there's only two genders. Don't judge, but I'm just throwing that out there now. There's only two genders, and this is the place where that they try to add a third gender. You know what I mean? And I'm acknowledging it. So you got to be careful for that. Don't drink too much, or you might look at the wrong girl the wrong way. But other than that, Thailand is absolutely amazing for both genders. But if you're a man, you need to go there once. I'm telling you right now, you need to go there at least once just to see what the world is about. Then I flew over to the Philippines. Tory Lanez, that's hilarious. Yo, so who that? I don't know if this is somebody Salk 7. I don't know if that's somebody I know or not, but the fact that you said Tory Lanez, I've been getting that a lot lately. That's kind of funny. But yeah, ever since I grew this out, when I cut this off, I look like another celebrity. But I'll leave that up to the imaginations. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. Then I went over to the Philippines. Philippines is like a different aura than Thailand, but you can still get your different terrains in that Apalachio. They got 7,000 islands. Pick one. I stayed in Manila. Manila is it's the capital. It's the city area. I saw a place like BGC. BGC is damn near Times Square. I'd argue a little bit better because it's tropical weather. You know what I mean? Instead of being surrounded by oak trees, you're surrounded by palm trees. But they got everything that New York has and more exclusive things as well. You're actually getting more. Everything isn't out there, isn't processed. It isn't, like it's really a dope experience being out there. I went to the provinces, Batangas. I went to Tagaytay. I even went to Cavite nearby. I didn't go to Angeles or any of those places like that. I just kind of wanted to stay in Manila and really just kind of take it in. I honestly like to go to places, see if I could live there. So I stayed for an extended time. I was there for 3 weeks. And Philippines, man, I get why people go there. It's cheap. It's cheaper than Thailand. So that was pretty cool. And then you have your walking street. You have your bars and stuff. Like you have your nightlife. It ain't like Thailand, but it's a pretty close second. Then I went over to Vietnam. Vietnam probably has some of the most beautiful places that you can see on earth. Ninh Binh and Hulang Bay. That like Instagram has been showing that a lot lately, but Instagram is not giving it its due unless you're actually there to see it. Like to see the limestone. Like I don't even know if you call those mountains, just little islands, little Appalachio plains. It's beautiful. And then Ninh Binh, that is where Skull Island was filmed. So you're literally on a bamboo boat going through these caves. As soon as you get out the cave, it's just like this big mountain area. Fire. The people there, I like the people there. I would say compared to the Philippines and Thailand, my experience of it was that they're nice, they're not friendly. Now, it could be because of my skin color, even though I didn't feel racism out there. It could just be, that's just not what they do. They put a lot of powder on their face so they could be as pale as possible. Clearly, I'm not. So maybe that's just something I want to stay away from. Also, it's probably just because they didn't speak English. A lot of people there didn't speak English. That was like one of the few places that I went to where the language barrier, I actually felt it. I knew a little bit of Spanish, so when I was over in Latin America, I kind of was able to pick up context clues. Even if I can speak it, I kind of understood what was said as long as they slowed down. Vietnam, I had no idea what was going on. There were times where I would just close my eyes and point at the menu and say, all right, let me have that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but Vietnam was nice. Vietnam, I really had a good time there. That's a place that I definitely would visit again. But I would probably go to Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City is more of like a younger party life city, so I would like to go there and try that out. I was also told to go to the middle region of Vietnam just because the food is the best there. So who knows? Maybe if God spares life and the success that I'm trying to bring to myself bears fruit, I could find myself going back over there. And then it was Cambodia. Cambodia was that's where I was really shocked. I was really shocked by Cambodia. Now don't get me wrong. The bugs out there, oh my God. I got into my Airbnb. There were two crickets fighting as soon as I walked in. There was a line of water bugs just trying to get into my room. And then the ceiling was full of constellations of just mosquitoes. It was just like, yo, why did I choose Cambodia to go to? But then to see Angkor Wat, I've always wanted to see Angkor Wat because, Mortal Kombat. I watched Mortal Kombat when I was a little kid. And I remember the part where Shao Kahn came at the end of the movie and he busts through this temple and he was like, your soul is mine. And then, Liu Kang and Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage, they were like, well, let's go. And then, it ended the movie. But it was, it was dope actually being there. That sunrise, like, it just makes you reflect. And I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody would like went there right after I was there that I knew, that I met in Vietnam, and she came out to Cambodia as I was leaving to go to Thailand, and she said she had the most vivid dream she can think of. And it's funny, I was saying the same thing myself. Now, Angkor Wat is the largest church in the world. Now, I understand they call it a temple, but temple is a church. So it's the largest church in the world. I'm telling you, it takes you a while. And they got like, I forget how much it is, like 26 different temples each one made by a different king during the Khmer Empire. So it was pretty dope to see the differences in the styles of it. Angkor Wat is the most recognized one, but I think Bayon Temple is probably the most unique. Then you also have the one that was in Tomb Raider. It's called the Tree Temple, because, well, a tree is literally growing around the whole temple. Like, its roots are literally all around the temple. And then it's just sticking up on top of the temple. It's kind of crazy to explain, but, like, I got pictures. Like, you'll see them. It's I even got the video I got to post up. I'm finally back in the States, so when I get back to New York, I'll start editing all those videos. Really cool, really dope. Pub Street was dope. The kids, oh my God, the kids. They are the most aggressive of kids. I didn't know reel. I just landed there and I was on Pub Street. So I was like, all right, let me pull out my reel. That's what they call their currency, to see which one is the largest bill. So I know exactly which one to hold on to, and then see how much of the little ones I can get rid of before I get rid of the big ones, right? Next thing you know, as soon as I pulled it out and go one, wave of kids just started coming through. I was like, oh, come on, what are you doing? And then they're like, oh, can I get? I'm talking about at least 10 kids in a matter of seconds just came out of nowhere. And I ended up giving like 1,000 real, which is like 25 cents. Now that I know that now, I didn't know that in the moment. It was like 25 cents. Here you go. And then another kid came out of nowhere and tried to snatch all the money and run. But luckily, I had a good grip on it, and I was like, "See, now y'all gotta blame that kid for nothing, getting nothing else, right?" So I'm walking. I walked away. This one kid followed me like 8 blocks. 8 blocks. Come on, please. I'm hungry. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the third. Now, I remember when I was in the Philippines, I could tell those kids were auditioning. Like they were going for Oscar award winning begging. You know what I mean? Because one time I wouldn't even say, I say twice. I seen one do it, and then one, it happened to me. I gave the kid money because the people that I was with, they were like, yo, just give like a peso and let her go away, right? So I did that. This girl went behind a tree, put the peso behind a tree, took her sandals, put it on, and started playing with the kids. And I'm like, oh, I just got played. That's crazy. Then another person that I was with, they were like, see, you can't actually give money to the kids. Not that you can't, but it's frowned upon to give money to the kids because A, they won't go to school if they know that they can just stay on the street and tourists will give them kids. Two, you're probably aiding and abetting in a criminal organization because a lot of parents will sell their kids to some guy, and then he will have the kids begging all the tourists, specifically, well, anywhere, but I noticed it heavily in Intramuros, which is like the army base around there, the old army base. It's not like an active one. People live there and stuff, but yeah, and then three, the kids after one goes after you, then they all come after you. So it's basically frowned upon to do so, right? So I didn't know. I must have gave at least 1,000 pesos out there, but it is what it is. And so I took that information and I went to Cambodia with it, and I didn't want to really go and do the same thing with the kids. But like I never heard a kid say, "No, I don't care if you don't give me money. Just can I get some food?" So when he said that, I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Like that really hurt. That really resonated with me. I gave him money after he followed me with the 8 blocks, but he said, "I just want some food." So I gave him the money, and I kind of went. I went back to Pub Street the next day, and I was with this girl, and we was hanging out after Pub Street closes. They have what is called tuk tuk bars. So these little tuk tuks will set up bars inside of them, and then you can party until whenever in the morning, right? He was outside at 4 a.m. and he was just sitting next to me as I was sitting with this group, and he was looking for more money again. But I was like, nah, ain't nothing open. Like, where you gonna get food? There's nothing I could do. And he just kind of just sat there, just chilling with me. I was just like, I'm gonna chill over here. He sat at that tuk tuk. I was over at this tuk tuk, but he just didn't want to go until I left. The next day, I saw him again. He gave me a pound. He was like, what's up? This, that, and the third, looking for more money. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to eat here. Why don't you come and grab a table? Can't sit with me, but you can grab a table and I'll buy you some food. He was like, oh, word. As soon as I finished the sentence, another kid came out of nowhere. I'm telling you, it's like they just have radar for this. Another kid came out. He's like, can I eat too? Can I eat too? I was like, all right, you too, right? So I went over. They sat at the table next to me. And the waiter was like, yo, you sure you want to do this? I was like, nah, that's cool. Just give them something to eat. And then they opened up the menu. I told them, what do you want? I was thinking pizza. So I just figured that was the easiest thing. No, these people got a whole roast chicken, right? And it comes with a salad. By the way, it was like $6. Where you getting a whole roast chicken for $6 with a salad? Anyway, so I got them that, and then they asked me if I can get rice. Now, what I got was some crocodile curry. I know, don't judge me. It was actually pretty good. I got some crocodile curry, and I forgot what I got. I got like 2 dishes, but the curry looked like a soup. So I just wanted it as a soup, and I got another dish. I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically, I didn't know the crocodile curry was gonna come with rice. So I had 2 dishes of rice, crocodile curry, and I forgot what the protein was that I had got. I think it was a steak, maybe. And Then the kids are like, "Oh, can we have some rice?" So I was like, "Perfect." I took the rice that came with the crocodile curry. I gave it to them. They split it two ways and they started eating. I just, on the inside, I was like, "Yeah, see that right there. As long as I could leave a footprint, I'm good." You know what I mean? But then I'm there. They're sitting to the left of me, right? Now I look over to the right. Yo, there's 1,000 kids with puppy doll eyes. Like, yo, can you feed me too? Nah, I wasn't going to feed the whole of Pub Street. It was like 30 kids. I couldn't do that. I was like, listen, they just got lucky. It is what it is. So after a while, I started feeling bad. Like I couldn't even look to the right because then it was just like, listen, I'm not rich. You know what I mean? I can't just pull out and pay everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not Mr. Beast. So there was no way that I was, I was just eating, feeling bad. I didn't even want to look right. It was to the point where after that day, I only ate upstairs because the kids can't go upstairs. I didn't want the pressure. But one thing that I thought was really dope, and this is how I knew they're not acting out here. This is for their survival. They went and started asking the waitress if they can have to-go bins. So they got two to-go bins. They packed up the food that they didn't eat, and then they started dishing it to the kids that were all watching. And I was like, oh man, there is still good in the world. Like they feasted. Don't get me wrong, they ate a lot. They ate what they had to eat, but the rest of it they gave out and they shared amongst the people. And I thought that was pretty cool. And they was like, "Can I have a Coke, please?" And I was like, "All right, you can have a Coke. Coke is 25 cents out there." Is it 25? No, it's like 35 cents out there. A little Coke, small Coke can like this. It's not like the one in the States, but it's a tall, skinny Coke can. So like 35 cents, I was like, all right, yeah, you could go all have your Coke cans, but I can't feed everybody. So they were able to eat. That was pretty cool. Cambodia really surprised me. A lot of people there speak English, but when you go over there, I'm telling you right now, like the salesmen are very aggressive and they have a script and they stick to it, and all of them say the exact same thing. It's first like as soon as you get to Pub Street, "Hey, my man, you need a tuk tuk?" I'm like, "Yo, you saw me get out of a tuk tuk to come to Pub Street. Why would I need your tuk tuk?" You know what I mean? Like, come on, I don't need no tuk tuk. Then a tuk tuk is basically like a little tricycle, a little three-wheeled motorbike that has a cage on top of it. It's kind of weird to explain, but if you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And they had they asked if you need, basically they're asking if you need a taxi. And I'm like, "No, I don't need a taxi. I just got out of taxi. I came here. You going to drive me away to drive me back to where I'm going?" So then it's a script. The next thing they ask you is like, "I got marijuana. You want marijuana?" I got the marijuana. I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need that." I had already actually, I had got some the first night, so I didn't need it. I just wanted to try it just to see what it tasted like, and it ain't Cali, but it is what it is. It gets the job done. I only did it that one time though, and then so I didn't need it after that time, and that was the first night. So then I kept telling them, "No, I don't need that stuff." Then the next thing they ask is if you need shrooms. Now I don't really dabble in the shrooms, so I was good on that. And I told them no. Then they're like, "Do you need cocaine?" I'm like, "Yo, y'all doing too much now." Those are stuff that's just not me. And the last thing they'll ask is if you need boom boom. Boom boom is a lady. So I'm just like, nah, everything is good. But they ask it every single time, and it sounds just like this. Hold on, don't make me laugh. Okay, my heart. He said, "Hey, you need tuk tuk? Oh, you meant one marijuana? No, 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 no. You need shrooms? Oh, I got cocaine. What about the boom boom? Ah, you need the boom boom, right?" Literally, it's like that from every single tuk tuk driver you find out there. It just does not stop. So that's one thing. They're very aggressive, and the kids are very aggressive. And the bugs are crazy. You get over all that stuff. Real nice place, friendly place, but you can see it's in LDC. LDC means lower developed country. So it's a very impoverished place, and you can see it. Like, I didn't want to take a picture of it. I just thought it was intrusive. But there was a lady. She was sitting on the sidewalk on top of cardboard, and she had three kids behind her. The oldest one was no older than 4. There was an infant, maybe a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, just laying One of them was with no shirt, just right there on the cardboard on the side of the street, right behind like a food stand. And I was just like, damn, like you could really tell the buildings are kind of run down. And I was in Siem Reap. I didn't go to Phnom Penh, so Phnom Penh, from what I understand, is a lot more developed than Siem Reap. But most people go to Siem Reap because they want to see Angkor Wat. So you can definitely tell, but they got they name brands out there. I saw KFC out there, and I think I saw McDonald's out there. It wasn't too. Oh, and it was a Domino's. I saw a Domino's. It wasn't too many things, but I definitely saw those three things, and that's in Siem Reap. I didn't go to Phnom Penh, so you know, those were the four places that I went to, and man, I gotta say, like Asia was definitely just a different experience. It was different, man. Like I'm really surprised by what I saw. I'm glad I went out there. The nightlife is Thailand. I'm telling you, go to Thailand and you will enjoy yourself. Okay, that's all I'm saying on that. There's a bunch of guys on YouTube that talk about all of that. Go to their pages. I'm just strictly for the travel experiences, but I will add in that the nightlife is absolutely top notch and phenomenal in Thailand, and it's a very close second with Philippines. Not a close second, but it's from where I've been. Philippines is in second place. Hanoi will surprise you, the nightlife there, but you're really partying with expats. You're not partying with the Vietnamese people. Can you? Yes, but like if you go to Old Quarters is like the whole city is just a big party. Like I'm telling you, like thousands of people around this lake in Old Quarters. It's insane. I can't wait to put the footage up. It's just thousands of people just all around just partying. You see karaoke, you see electric slide dances. They doing a cha cha slide. Obviously, it's not those songs, but like a Vietnamese version. But they doing it. There's kids too. It be 12 o'clock. There's kids running around with scooters, this, that, and third. There's like people doing fire things, and then they got this one block called Bear Street. They have a walking street as well, but Bear Street is the place that you want to go. So there's like I don't know, maybe 12 bars on both sides, so maybe 24 bars on this very small narrow road. Like literally, to walk on that street, you have to go like this because the seats are like right here from that road, and all the chairs and tables are outside. So you're literally walking through people eating, and it's just one big party on that block. And then after like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they take all the seats inside, and then each bar closes their doors, and it becomes a club inside. But you're partying with expats. Very few, like besides the people that work there, you're not really running into any Vietnamese people. But it was still a dope experience. I got met a lot of people out there. And Pub Street, they got like two clubs there that is just phenomenal. But one, I think Temple Sky Lounge really takes the cake. It's 3 floors, and each different floor has a different theme to it. Like the first floor is like a pop bar type club. The second floor is like a pop lounge that occasionally plays some kind of Western music. And then the third floor is straight hip hop and pop bar, rooftop bar, basically. I was always on the third floor. I just felt the best vibe from there. They had pool. You could play wiffle ball, and it was a really great place to meet a lot of people too. I met people from Morocco, from Australia, Germany, you name it. I met them there at that bar. Really dope spot. But again, the nightlife, definitely Thailand takes the cake 100%. I would say Pattaya more than Bangkok, but Bangkok, yeah, you go to Nana Plaza, you gonna have a good time. Thailand got Pattaya. Pattaya has its Soy Six, its Walking Street, its LK Metro. You're gonna really your Tree Town Market. You're gonna enjoy going to those places. Yeah, and then if you go to Phuket, you get a smaller version of what's in Pattaya or Bangkok, but you're getting it in a beach variant. So you're on a beach, but you're still experiencing all that stuff. So really dope. I couldn't be more thankful for being in Asia. It was just like, yeah, we got to stop being so ignorant over here thinking, I mean, yeah, are they as developed as we are here in the States? Not everywhere, but you'll be surprised. There are some places, like I said, I was very surprised by BGC. Hanoi has its moments. That's in Vietnam. But even and yeah, I'd even say it. Even in Bangkok, you'll find its moments comparable to New York City. Um, yeah, really, really dope. I'm sad it's over, and my next 3 month trip will be to Africa. So I'm gonna experience that next. I already did Latin America, got it, did Asia, got it. I want to call myself a world traveler. I want to call myself a world traveler. The only way I can do that, I feel, is if I at least been to 3 continents. I have not done 3 continents yet. I don't count North America, so that doesn't count. So really, the only other one of the three that I got to do is Europe, Australia, or Africa. Once I go to one of those, then I'll be on 3 continents, right? So, um, yeah, that's just my story. I just wanted to kind of just give a little wrap up of my Asia trip and give some highlights. I will be writing a book that has a lot more stories, more insights, more tips. How to solo travel if you haven't solo traveled before. I think it's the best thing that you can do because, yeah, solo traveling with friends is fun. You build moments, you build a bond with them. You're doing things with that person that, when you go back to the States, only you will have inside jokes. Only you and that person will know those inside jokes. You know what I mean? Because you experienced that moment with them. Now, you can meet someone else who's been to the same place. And if it's a broader joke, you can sit there and say the same thing and they'll know what you're talking about. And you can connect with that person. But actually being there with that person, you're building a bond. However, if you solo travel, you're there alone. So you have no choice but to meet people. And with 8 billion people on Earth, there are 8 billion different stories to learn. And every time you meet another person, you're just learning something new. It's kind of like, it's just refreshing. You know what I mean? I met a couple people out in Thailand. I met people everywhere, but friendships that I'm actually taking back home, or I met one person in Thailand that lives in New York. We're gonna connect. I met one person that lives in New York and Vietnam. We're gonna connect. She's real cool. She's actually in Bangkok now. So and she was gonna stay. She's from the Philippines and she was gonna stay in the Philippines. And I was like, yo, you're here. You're staying in the Philippines for 3 months. Why not just explore? And I met her in Vietnam, so it wasn't like she was there by herself. It wasn't like she was afraid to explore. So I was just like, all right, yo, just do your thing. Like, yo, just go see, a couple places. So she started following what I was doing, and then she went to the other places, and she didn't have really the greatest experience in Cambodia. But then, like I said, bugs, right? So she's enjoying it. I met a person from Cambodia that just loved Wu-Tang, and I'm from Wu-Tang's neighborhood. So he just connected and he's just always reaching out to me. I was like, all right, cool. It seems like it's going to be something that goes on way past that experience. I met a lot of people. There's a girl I met in Philippines. We just connected. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there, a lot of cool people. It was just dope vibe, and I'm really grateful to have experienced that. But that is basically all I wanted to say about my time. I just kind of wanted to put it on, live, just to say, I experienced it, but I am back in the States. I'm in North Carolina. I should fully be back home, and that is when I'm going to start editing. Most definitely. Yeah. Wait, is that, no way, Lucas? Oh, you're gonna be in New York. Okay, never mind. Got you. Yeah. So we just, I'm gonna be back in New York, and then Africa is definitely just gonna be uh the next step, and I'm probably gonna do like 4 countries there too. So hopefully you guys can follow me on my journey. Hope support the journey so I can do these more oftenly and more frequently and longer. That'd be great. But I'm not going to beg. If you want to support, I appreciate you. And if you don't, you just want to watch, I appreciate that too. Hit that like button. Do me the favor. I appreciate you. And my closing, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you. And if you made this far, you are appreciated, my friend. I'll see y'all later. Peace.